Okay, I have to deal with the small problem of the client not showing the coins. Of course it's Syndicate when there are no coins.
Yeah. We should just ban players from queuing Syndicate Game 1. It would make the spectating a whole lot easier. But it's straight away, it's going to be open sesame from Kazuya into the scroll answer for Dauren. So does get the first trigger on the open sesame, but not going to get any of that counter value later on in the game. Sea Jackal rolled on the Eventide Plunder now. It's always good to have a spender on board. It makes your life a little less difficult. But the issue is it goes super toll, and when the opponent has access to the Heatwave in hand, Spores and Neomancy both sitting in deck, as we see from the Maxi here, so not worried about that resetting the Sea Jackal, and not the best pulls here from the Maxi next round, only finding the Sigrifa's Rai.
Your magic can't hurt
Wouldn't be
me.
in the next round, wouldn't be surprised to see a shuffle.
Yeah, should be a shuffle most likely, unless you are certain that you're allowed to do whatever you want in terms of round control. Okay, so we see the Jackal being clicked more and more, playing into that spicy heat wave, but the question is how deep Dauren is going. So far it's anti-carryover card, carryover in terms of draws that he played, didn't really play any real cards. And yeah, there is also a problem of like missing the combo pieces. You'd want that Priest or Corsair to combine it with the ship. But considering the Sea Jackal is at 19, well, if you feel like it, your contest is pretty simple in this round. You just jump the heat wave and you're quite close again.
But yeah, but then the issue is playing past the Heatwave is rough because the two bronzes in hand, the Doom and the Pillar, they're not really doing anything in this board state, just playing for a measly 3 and 4 points each. And then after that, you're looking at committing some of your bigger gold combo pieces, which you really don't want to do this early on. But then again, on the side of Kazuya, hand here is a bit awkward. Flying Redanian is bricked, which I don't think we mentioned yet. And this Oxenfurt guard doesn't have a pocket to start boosting yet, but it is the pass from Dauren. So I think the interesting thing to note here, in this sort of matchup, the executioners can struggle to actually find targets to damage because Selfwood has a lot of things which just don't take damage. Things like the Olgate, things like the Sigvald. And we already saw 2 Eventide Plunders being played, so in terms of having a spender, which is more of a defensive boosty spender, it's really going to come down to these 2 copies of the Oxenfurt guards.
Okay, that's Novigrad found. What's the coin situation at the moment after the Novigrad?
Currently 4 coins in the bank.
Okay, thank you. Lemon is missing again. Yeah, okay. The capture method change didn't really help, and apparently nothing helps. Lemon just is in the hiding. Ah, I see. Okay, nothing really helps. Bam. This should. Yeah, there we go. We have the permanent Lemon.
Yes. Good to be back.
So, location has been played, but location was also Novigrad location, I mean, has been clicked as well. So, we are going deeper into this round 2. Pulling the strings when you are not really running many tanks is not helpful, so we see the mutagen dealing with one of the fanatics. But yeah. Like we talked about Portal and Aeromancy, here we do see an Aeromancy being somewhere in the deck, but Dauren kind of found a few golds already, so shouldn't be the biggest problem. to find lines to play out this round too.
Especially with the Spellblood together with the Totem, you have the Draco Turtle K-Trolled combo, which we see coming out here, dealing with that Bare Knuckle Brawler. And there's even the Doom Viandra in hand, which you can use to reset the K-Trolled Water for later on. And notably, with no artifact removal being a Devotion Syndicate list, there's no real way to deal with this K-Trolled Draco Turtle coming down here. And it's already, quite a big lead for Dauren to catch up here for Kazuya. Going to be King of Beggars already coming out. And the Zavala points them. Getting a sizable lead now, 14 points up for the Syndicate.
Yeah, King of Beggars is happy to see Savola. This allows him to feature so much more on the board because he gets 9 coins paid immediately. So any smaller tribute paid earlier will be leading to the counter 12 fulfilling.
Traveling is an option, you see.
Okay, so we see that Gwentfinity playing slow, but this gear troll, the reset, is good to have. There is morels, so your Draco Turtle growing means not much for it, but this is like the last top-1-ish that is left in Kazuya's hand.
Yeah, pretty nice roll getting the Purge there. Puts a bounty onto the Draco Turtle, which makes that more else a bit of a juicier play that you might want to consider now. You get a nice 6-coin refund after going for the tribute, which is particularly good since, the King of Beggars isn't giving any more refunds now since he's already been summoned. Foulblood coming down. Gonna turn the tides. The armor on Zavala absorbs a little bit of damage, but the rest of Kazuya's board state is very much worse for wear. And Draco Turtle and the Fanatics, they're just happy to vibe with the Foulblood. They love bears. We all love bears.
Who wouldn't? When it actually allows you to be one thing and other things occasionally. So, those who love transformation go into the cult quite easily.
So, 5 coins here in the bank for Kazuya would require a single leader charge if you wanted to go for the morals here.
Ye who wander on the gale, ye we summon, ye
And
we call.
with that in mind, it is going to be the pillar to get rid of the bounty. And then just the value of the Draco Turtle coming through here.
Well, we've not had enough.
Okay, so we get the leader,
This is-
bank is full, Flying Redanian is appearing. Now I know how many coins there are. the Flying Redanian flying out is kinda a giveaway.
And I'm not sure if it was intentional here, but saving the Flying Redanian until after this Foulblood has come out and been dealt with saves a few extra points here for Kazuya. And looking at the board state here, yes, Dauren is ahead, but that is a huge Draco Turtle. And if we see the morals cleaning up the Draco Turtle, I'm not sure how easy of a time Dauren will have actually keeping up here. New being used to deal with the front row spender there.
And we see the bounty being paid. No way you are allowing this tribute being paid. No way you are not paying tribute to morels. And yeah, now there is a question of catching up. Like, you have hit wave for 12. You have Spores on the other hand that plays like for 4 points. Verification is a 10, so yeah, you are getting there. There is also a problem of spending, but you're not getting there in one card.
Yeah.
What's the Ursan leader charges?
5 charges
5
still hasn't
charges,
been used
okay,
yet.
yeah.
But yeah, the leader isn't really going to play for any points in
Yep.
this board state, though. Maybe it can kind of do something with the spores, but yeah, it's not super helpful. But I don't think Kazuya would want to commit the Aperontia here because there is no good spender on board. So it should be fine for Dauren to just catch up here with the heat wave. Yeah, I don't see any way that you could get away with just playing the spores.
And heat wave kinda allows you to spend some charges, but there is Sigvald, so no real reason to do so. So yeah, heat wave is being applied. And full leader is being preserved, so Acherontia travels into round 3, but for that you need a spender. And one of your spender is bleeding and second is Candle, but at least verification is out, so...
Yeah.
And heat wave
so
is
we'll be
out, so
seeing-
your spender is fine. If the others die, of course. Oh, look, an Aeromancy by round 3. Love to see that. It's just that you missed both Sigrifa's right and Sigvald, so...
Yeah. So I wonder if Dauren is going to go for the Sigvald or the Sigrifa's right for the Canute here, off of this Neomancy. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see huge Sigvald and use the order to damage this Olgerd.
Fill our hearts with wrath.
While Kazuya is staying interactive, you can just start your own engine, even if it's only 3 turns. Not dealing damage to Olgerd is profitable for that priest.
A bit unlucky there with the Flying Redanian not going the same road as the Oxenfurt Guard. Not going to give that pocket potential. It is actually going to be the Sigrifa's right for the Canute. Deals with the Spender. And is threatening another 5 points next turn if not dealt with, which it doesn't look like Kazuya can deal with this Canute.
So you don't want to play into spores too much. But do 5 damage, what else is dealing damage? Nothing really. So yeah, the Acherontia is being kept at 10.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 19-point final turn here for Dauren, it looks like. And then it might come down a bit to what the Acherontia is going to pull, as whether Kazuya is going to be able to catch up. Yeah, so yeah, down 18 points, needs to double their current point value. In the switch onto Executioner, it's not a good spender because there's no opportunity for this bleeding to go through. Okay, Hysteria. It's gonna be enough.
Yeah, didn't really need too much, and we have Kazuya winning this game number 1. Okay, so Kazuya takes the lead in the semifinal, getting through with Syndicate, but still has Status Nilfgaard and Siege to play with.
Coin for the Deathwish here for Dauren. What going to be trying to maximize that Erendite value, get use of this Urn of Shadows with that Bruce Ritual already being found. Gonna be up against the Aristocrats, however, and all these locks and the Van Mom servants copying over the locks can make the Deathwish life quite difficult.
Okay, we're Dagon, quite talented with the draws, but not all of them.
So, and this is the kind of matchup where, yeah, second form Dagon, it just gets answered super easily with a lock. Like, that doesn't feel good. To have it in the second form, you'd much rather just play it out in the first form. Try to get as much just straight up points down value that isn't vulnerable to being locked.
Especially since there is no graveyard punish available, would be nice to have all the carryover set up.
Now you see me.
Alas. Okay, not infiltration didn't really go too well for the mage infiltrator here, but maybe Kazuya doesn't really care. With how first 2 turns going, this is not the most tempo you can establish, so he can establish the status in his hunting pack and look for a way out after playing the 3rd card.
Yeah, and I'm interested a little bit what this 3rd card would be. I think you, in this kind of matchup, you really value the Van Malholm Hunter. Potentially the Servant just gets tossed out here.
Beautiful, beautiful servant.
Yeah, just doomed over to the Cursed Toad means that it won't be able to come back and have a second. It's not Hobbit, but no second breakfast for that Cursed Toad.
So sometimes clicking buttons not that great,
Yeah,
as it turns out. But we continue going here. Kazuya has bronzes to play out. Those poisons that you can float on enemy units are not that great when your opponent runs Siliana Harpies and Consume Leader. So tries to get cash in some value on them already here in round 1. If it doesn't work, it probably costs your opponent an extra consume that is quite valuable on Harpies, on Deathwish, etc, etc. Okay, but
Yeah.
this is as far as it goes.
yeah, and I think it would be a bit risky playing too much further into the round 1 there, because if you do end up losing after a longer round 1, it gives your opponent a shorter round 2 to potentially bleed you in, and I think Aristocrats can struggle in that kind of situation.
Okay, all the big gold aristocrats chilling in the deck. There is the Dagon. There is a lock. And Peller is available, but yeah, available in general. You need a tutor
Yes.
for that. But
Yeah.
theoretically, if somebody will ask later, Peller will send his worksheet saying that, yeah, I was there. I don't know, nobody asked
Yeah.
anything from me.
There's a-
so-
Yeah, busy tending to Princess. And so it's going to be Squirrel found on the final mulligan. The wrong 4 provision tech card in this case. Look, you could get rid of a coup, but it could be a little bit of a slower play in response here. So it's going to be the ball to answer the Dagon.
But you
Play.
look to be an honest man. Help us. Drive away the hooligans.
Doesn't really care if the Dagon gets eaten here. It won't have that much value, so it can delay the lock or save the lock for something like the Deathwish or the Urakus Queen instead. This... I wonder if you just jam the Cyclops here. Dame can get quite big and quite scary, so you'd like to just take her out early on, and maybe you want to keep this Dagon available to threaten that lock.
Okay. Alternatively, this can happen. So there is a Rompali angle opening,
Hoist the colors. We're going to war.
and that both deals with the Dagon and deals with the Deathwish. Beautiful. Of course, there was Emir that could have destroyed Rompolis' plans. You know, you plan something as an admiral, and there is that emperor that tries to, but not this time around. So plan was executed beautifully.
So yeah, probably heads up here, saving the Cyclops for the bigger threat in the Admiral Rampali. But, and this is the issue for Detloff, with just that one play. The Detloff is dealt with, the Dagon is dealt with, and what does Deathwish do now? Do you just, I guess you can jam the Ruckus Queen for the Detloff, the Higher Vampire now, but you're still playing into this lock. Opponent has good engine value. They have the second Chaldron Ball still to trigger.
Trickery! Treachery!
Okay, so tutor for the Succubus.
You can still walk.
There is one in the graveyard as well, but how do you feel about jamming the leaders on that? Probably not really. Not now. You have a toad to play. That you're kinda running out of good plays
That's the right shot.
from hand, so whatever is in the board is supposed to be generating that through the Deathwish. And at the moment, Toad, Araha's Queen and Doldulok all represent the consume. But at the same time, the Thirsty Dame is growing.
So I'm going to poison the Roderick here because you're expecting this Detloff to potentially get eaten by the Ruckus Queen, which would then nullify the poison. But yeah, and like you're really feeling like no Cursed Toad carryover here means that the Detloff play, the Succubus play, it just doesn't have that extra oomph straight away, and it's what's allowed Kazuya to stay ahead. And it also means that the Arendite, it's at a decent 10 damage, but it's the Arendite is sitting in deck and it's not available here to get a bit of nice points deal with an engine like this Vicious Aristocrats either.
Give me my son.
Fergus just creating some status effects, but yeah. Feels like a throwaway card, or like the card exactly created for this moment when you have your bronze engines already in play. It's good and it provides you with a play later on the second copy of Seditious Aristocrat, so allows you to preserve the bigger cards for later, while costing only 6 provisions himself.
Yeah, so it's just going to be the value trade here. Scroll coming out, not able to eat up the coup de grace, which does end up getting played here. Could be a little bit of carryover if we see a Detloff unit played from the coup next round and then played on the back row there for Kazuya. So that could be nice to see as well. Going to be a card down now for Dauren, heading into a 5 card to 6 card round 3. So it's going to be the AQ and Arendite, probably Succubus coming out from the Doldulok, and going to have to play quite careful to play around the lock from this Van Malm Hunter, from this Imposter Leader.
Okay, so no Heatwave and no Riptide. Well, access to Riptide, no Heatwave for Dauren here. Which means that one of the tallest units will be leaving. Oh, like engines will be growing slightly because your Riptide is a 50-50 here. And it hits Emir. So the units you play are not getting spied, but the units Kazuya is playing tend to have the spine status and tend to buff the aristocrat. So
yeah,
You have the Iron Dite to play on the engine, but
I don't have a dirty mind. Just wanna
also
have
kinda need to consume every turn, so priority goes to the succubus. And I guess we see double lock featured here.
I wonder what my snares would have captured this time.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Yurakus Queen can act as a sort of pseudo purify here. This current succubus wouldn't get Deathwish effect. Okay, we see the pillar coming out to get rid of that lock here. But the second one coming out from the Yurakus Queen would have the Deathwish available. But at this point, there's not really enough consumes for that to even matter.
sweep your worries away.
Yeah.
Getting hit by a tiny bit here, able to get this Arendite to continue ticking. I wonder if there's anything you're trying to save the Arendite for. Like, there's still 2 Danes left in deck, but at this point it's a bit late for them to really get value anyway, so maybe it's better to use the Dame to kill off the Stitches Aristocrats or the Usurper if you're scared of that engine potential. Which...
I despise Dimeritium.
Okay, so toll unit, nice for the Riptide. The entire row is with statuses, so this is a big Riptide, and the Riptide is also of interest to Dauren here. Don't really need to consume the locked succubus, instead just spawn a 10-point unit. But considering Joachim is surviving the Deathwish on the Deathwish board, that's just enough of a push for Kazuya to win this game number 2. So great job on the status, and only has 1 deck left to get through and go to the final of winner takes all.
Quarterfinal yesterday, we saw the Aristocrats being the weaker point for Kazuya, almost got reverse swept on that imposter list, but manages to get it through on the first attempt here in the semis. So just 1 more win needed already on series point.
Choosing the deck, but chose the funny looking leader model. I don't know, this is just too good of a leader model. And plays his siege against Self-Wound, so Dauren takes Skellige on red coin, second time in this match.
Yeah, it's no surprise seeing Self-Wound coming out from the red coin here, and probably will struggle to contest this round 1, which is why he played out where it's not running the risk of losing on even turn 1 Temple. It's always nice when you're able to draw the Temple this early. Ooh, Viraxis could be decent.
Temple cooked up Radavit, Priscilla and Viraxis. As we mentioned, this deck is running Unsaves from hand. So that's one of the potential targets, of course. If you see when your opponent rolls Viraxis, you probably are aiming at potentially hit waving or using spores on him to prevent the second use. Siege against Self-Wound with armor, with damage immune units and units that actually profit from damage. So yeah, but also Siege has been jammed in round 1 quite often for like winning round 1, I suppose, purposes.
Yeah, this Northern Realms list we saw yesterday, the Siege used round 1 to secure the round control, but also just matchup wise, when like the Olgierd, the Sigvald are out later on in the round 2, round 3, the random damage from Siege is a lot worse, so it's better to pull it out here where you have more of a chance to try to combine your damage together to clean up this priest and really neuter this engine potential from Dauren.
Yeah, in the end that bombardment does really nothing against the double ship, but deals with the priest. Also, bot is asking game relevant questions, I suppose.
Yeah, so 2 copies of a card which used to be called Mushrooms, and we actually see that being played out right now.
For this most beautiful of maidens, I shall fight 100 duels!
So, yeah, look, I gotta appreciate Dauren in this moment. Seems like quite a fun guy.
No. Can't somebody stop him? Somebody help
11
me.
points. Up for Kazuya. The lead's not gonna stay that way though. And yeah, all these damage siege engines, they don't look particularly great. Into the double draw claw. Reinforced Bliss are going to clear away a bit of armor for the battering ram and Caraballista to have a bit of a field trip, punching through to the more vulnerable wooden hull of the ship. And Carrack Marine, good little point slam too. As we get towards the tail end of this round, you really don't want to commit the Dem Event nor the Unsaves for Kazuya. You could toss the AA, but you've got to be careful about that waiting reroll there. Happy to leap into action at a moment's notice and prevent any future amphibious assaults from occurring.
So, yeah. No food for the squirrel. Kazuya didn't really want to leave an opening for amphibious assault being squirreled away. And both players kinda kept, yeah, those are the cards I'm fine not playing, and that was the gesture from both sides. And the spelling contest has been a win. Like chat doesn't have. I forgot to turn on the observer again, so chat couldn't highlight the card.
So, Dem Event, finding Priscilla, gonna immediately reset the cooldown, so gonna get Rafad's Vengeance coming out.
One-way assault, I assure you.
What a fun little combo. Putting up 25 points. It's okay.
I don't know if I'll call it a little combo, but
fun you agree with, right? Fun you will agree with.
I don't know if I agree with that either.
God damn it.
And looking at what Dauren has drawn here, the Neomancy is missing, so that's bad, but more particularly, there's no access to the Svalbard, which is really the way that you'd counter this wide board coming out from Kazuya. So it's going to have to be the Canute to deal with this Kedweni Revenant, so it can stop this chain of run bids being killed and reborn. But there's no Svalbard, no KA Trolled. It basically means the point potential for Dauren is just not there. At least you have the Canute, but if you try to get the Berserk through, this oil is ready to just deal with the Canute, and there's also an answer, it's just a cherry on top in case there's anything else that Dauren tries, so...
Yeah, so 2 turns in a row, the Ronvit resurrection has been impeded.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'll be king.
Those are 5 provision cards, pretty good and pretty dangerous combo. And yeah, I love the fact that they kind of make Ronvit, like there is no reason to play him outside of the Revenant spam deck.
Yeah.
So, cards, they have to work together, and sometimes they really do.
Yeah, and I think, like, from the side of Kazuya here, that Dauren was so hell-bent on dealing with these Kedweni Revenants just straight away, might be indicating that there's no access to the Svalbard, because usually you're happy to just play out your totem, pay out the Svalbard, deal 4 damage to the whole board, and the Revenant value is all neutralized, but...
So...
yeah, it's just...
yeah, that was nasty, and this was the Northern Realms for ya. I guess the only saving grace for Dauren is that we kind of managed to do it in 40 minutes. He still has the entire day ahead of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather unfortunate here.